Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing? All right? Yeah. All right. Okay. Nice and energetic tonight. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Everyone calls me Bigman, right? Apart from my mum, who currently thinks I'm betraying her as we speak. She'd be like on the phone. Oh, Ethan, your father and I, we decided. Well, we took ages deciding what your name was going to be, and now you're up displaying yourself publicly, and you're not using your name. Thanks very much for that. Well done, you. And I'm a bit like, well, give us a break, yeah, come on. She's like, no, son, Scottish people are proud of their heritage, proud of their culture, and they're proud of their names. Unless you're talking to the police, and you could drop that shit like a fiery hanky. And I'm like, Mum, look, I've decided to change my name because there's somebody else out there already in the media spotlight with my own name, so I've kind of adapted it, if that's okay. She's like, well, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, those are the facts, you know. I just wanted to avoid all the confusion and all the obvious comparisons, you know. And let's be honest, Mum, Beyonce never suited me anyway. That's a bad joke. Thank you for laughing. The truth is, though, in Glasgow, if people don't know what you're called, they call you either one of two things. They call you either big man or wee man. And I was never going to be wee man. It just wasn't going to happen. And that's the kind of like grey, sort of like this sort of thing. What is it? Glaswegians kind of like avoid all that kind of stuff. They're quite direct, you know. They've got a clarity of mind and a kind of Buddhist-like simplicity about how they run their life. It's just kind of like famous around the world, you know. That and violence, of course. And yeah, and that's kind of why I left Glasgow. Came to London. I tell people because of the weather. Nobody believes me. I don't know if you noticed this winter. It was the wettest on record, right? Yeah, the wettest we've ever had. Norfolk 3 feet under. Somerset 6 feet under. I mean, that's sodden. But I think fucking get over it, you lot, because up in Glasgow last year in summertime it rained for 68 days in a row. 68 days! So, Scottish television, they spotted that Russell Crowe was coming over to the country to promote his new movie Noah. I don't know if you've seen this or heard of it, yeah? Mm-hmm. And he's over and they're like, oh, Russell, you're now the globe's leading flooding expert all of a sudden. Why don't you tell us what you think of that 68 days in a row? And he's like, well, people of Glasgow, I've only witnessed a flood of 40 days and 40 nights, and I can honestly say that your flood of 68 days in a row is a flood of both epic and biblical proportions. And we're like, Russell, relax, would you? Eh? Come on. When we were young, we just called that Lego time. Tiny little titter over there was expecting the whole place to erupt. Here it is. What a dick. We can take for one more? Yeah, okay, so... You're really helping me out, man, thank you. I've lost my spot a little bit. Yeah, so I'm an animation director, so I occasionally get asked to kind of make bits and pieces, and the reason I'm on stage now is because I'm too lazy to make those bits and pieces, so I'm just saying them instead of drawing them thousands of times. And I got a phone call from Channel 5 recently. They were like, can you come and help us design our weather map, please? And I was like, oh, perfect, that's a good job, that's a good little earner. You know, it gets lots of national coverage, and it doesn't have to be any good, does it? So, and I thought, Channel 5, they've got a great sense of humour, well, they have to have. And I said, no, I suggested I put a pitch forward. I said, why don't we do some sort of like metaphorical kind of set of icons for the map instead of the usual kind of little black cloud with little blue raindrops indicating light precipitation. So for example, in Glasgow, you could just have a giant blue fist of Poseidon just punching the depression into the people and the subsequent demand for good heroin. Dark. That's very dark. My ex-girlfriend, she calls Glaswegians aggressively friendly. And they kind of do get up in your face, you know, in your space bubble and all that kind of thing. But I've got an example of something which is psychotically friendly. Okay, I'll make this quick. I was up visiting a friend. He was in hospital. I was visiting, ours were over, and I was sat out on a bus stop, and there's a dual carriageway right in front of me, and there's rows and rows of traffic going either way, and there's a postman sat at a bus stop directly across the street, and he waves at me, and having been in London for a little while, I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to look at him, I'm not going to engage him at all, and then I look up again, and he's skipping across the dual carriageway, cars going left and right, he's looking like a kind of chubby gazelle, and then he gets to me, and he's fucking knackered, he's like, mate, are you going into town, eh? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he goes, well, you go round the corner, down the road, there's a bus stop there. Buses go past there every 5 minutes, they go past here every 20 minutes. You know, you're going to quadruple your chances of getting a bus really, really soon. I'm like, you've just crossed the street to tell me that? And he goes, don't worry about it, pal. And he struts forward and starts looking left and right to see if he can patch a spot. And I'm like, oh, I'm off. I'm walking along the road, and all I hear is the screeching of car tyres. Right, the beeping of horns, I turned round and he stood there like that. Like that. He's halted a car. Like that. The guy hangs out the window and goes, fuck's sake, man! You're going to get yourself killed! He goes, don't worry about it, mate, I'll be fine. Yeah, there's a hospital right there. Thanks, big man, take care of yourselves, have a lovely night.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get you one, look on. I'll bring it up.
I hope you're not just going to buy a drink because you're physically intimidated by it.